Hey guys, Nasake here, and welcome to another episode of Doki-Doki Literature Club. Now, last time we left off doing the second poem, and so far I've realized that Yuri's good. I really like Yuri. I'm gonna try to get with that character. Um, but right now we are going to show the girls our poems and see what we have in store today. Maybe we might get into some darker stuff, but let's just see how it goes. Now, I guess we just log in. Logging in. Whoa. Okay. Oh, it's real time. Yeah, it's like 8:20 over here. Anyways, I'm guessing what's files? What is this? Game? Saves? Okay. That's cool. That's cool and all. But can I just here we go. Here's the music we love. Not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Okay. Here we go. Load game. Right here. Hint, you can use the skip button to fast forward through text you've already read. Yeah! Let's jump right in. Another day passes, and it's time for the club meeting already. I've gotten a little more comfortable here over the past couple of days. Entering the club room, the usual scene greets me. Hi, Nasake. Yo, Sayori. Looks like you're in a good mood today. I'm just still not used to you being in the club, that's all. I see. That's a pretty simple thing to get you in a good mood. But I guess it's always the simple things with you anyway. Speaking of which, I'm kinda hungry. Will you come with me to buy a snack? No thanks. That's not like you at all. I have my reasons. Why don't we take a look at your purse, Sayori? Why that all of a sudden? No reason really. I just want to look at it. Sayori nervously retrieves her coin purse. She fumbles with the latch and gets it open. And she turns it upside down and lets its contents spill onto the desk. Only 2 small coins fall out. I knew it. I can see right through you, Sayori. That's not fair. How did you even know? It's simple. If you had enough money in the first place, you would have brought a snack before coming to the club room. So either you're not hungry and want an excuse to take a walk, or you plan to conveniently forget that you spent all your money so that I would lend you some. But there's one more thing. You're always hungry. And so there only is one option. Oh no. Oh, I give up. Don't make me feel guilty. If you feel guilty, that means you deserve to feel guilty. Oh, the interactions. It's just so cute. Yuri suddenly giggles. Didn't notice that she was listening in. Her face is in her book as always. I wasn't listening or anything. I was just something in my book. Yuri, telling Nasake to let me borrow some money. Don't get me involved like that, Sayori. Besides, we should only buy what we can responsibly afford. Ooh, bring on the responsibility. And frankly, after pulling the mischievous little stuff like that, your suffering is fair enough retribution. I didn't mean that. I got too absorbed into my book. Laughs. I really like it when you speak your mind, Yuri. It doesn't happen much, but it's a fun side of you. There's no way you would think that. You were right though. I did something bad not to accept the revolution. Retribution. Okay, just making sure I didn't confuse that. Still, coming from you, Sayori. I guess there's little devil inside all of us, isn't there? Is that foreshadowing? That's definitely foreshadowing. Don't let her fool you. Sayori knows exactly what she's doing. After all, she told you guys she was bringing me to a club before she even told me. But you wouldn't have come if it weren't for the cupcakes. So to trick Natsuki into making them. Come on, you need more credit than that, Sayori. Out of nowhere, something smacks Sayori in the face and tumbles onto the desk. What? Ow. It was a cookie. Sure enough, a giant cookie wrapped in plastic. Sayori glances around. Is this a miracle? It's because I paid my restitution. Retribution. Actually, that one almost worked. I was just gonna give it to you, but then I heard you blab about cupcakes. I was totally worth seeing your reaction, though. It was. Natsuki, that's so nice of you. I'm so happy. Sayori hugs the cookie. Jeez, just eat it. Sayori rapidly tears open the wrapper and takes a big bite. So good. Sayori suddenly clasped her hands over her mouth. I bit my tongue. Oh my goodness, she is a wreck. She is a train wreck. What is this? It's adorable, but like, oh my goodness. You're going through a lot over just one cookie, right? Natsuki takes a bite of her own cookie. Ah, yours looks really good too, Natsuki. Can I try it? Jeez, beggars can't be choosers. But yours is chocolate. Yeah, why do you think I gave you that one? Wait, which one did she give him? Her. Still, I'm really happy that you shared this one with me. Sayori gets out of her seat and goes behind Natsuki, then wraps her arms around her. Ah, jeez, I get it. Cookie still in hand, Natsuki reaches up to nudge Sayori off her. Sayori suddenly leans down and takes a bite out of Natsuki's cookie. Hey, did you seriously just do that? Mouthful Sayori trots away to safety. Yuri and I laugh as well. Jeez, you're such a kid sometimes. Monika, can you test Sayori? Natsuki glances around. Monika isn't in the club room. Where's Monika anyway? Good question. Have any of you heard anything about her being late today? Not me. Yeah, I haven't either. That's a bit unusual. I hope she's okay. Of course she's okay. She probably just had something to do today. She's pretty popular after all. You don't think she has a... I wouldn't be surprised. She's probably more desirable than all of us combined. That's true. Excuse me? Oh wow, she's getting defensive. Suddenly the door swings open. Sorry, I'm super sorry. Ah, there you are. I didn't mean to be late. I hope you guys weren't worried or anything. Monika chose a club over her boyfriend after all. You're so strong-willed. But boyfriend? What on earth are you talking about? Monika quizzically glances at me. Ah, never mind that. What held you up anyway? Well, my last period today was study hall. To be honest, I kinda just lost track of time. That makes no sense though. You would have heard the bell ring at least. Must have not heard it since I was practicing piano. Piano? Wasn't aware that you played music as well, Monika. I don't really. I kinda just started recently. I've always wanted to learn piano. That's so cool! You should play something for us, Monika. Monika looks at me. Maybe once I get a little better, I will. A little bit better. Yay! That sounds cool. I'd also look forward to it. Is that so? In that case, I won't let you down, Nasake. Monika smiles sweetly. Okay, don't let me down. Let's see, I didn't mean any pressure or anything like that. Don't worry, I've been practicing a whole lot recently, and I'd really love the chance to share once I'm ready. I see. In that case, best of luck. Thanks. So, I didn't miss anything, did I? Not really. I chose to leave out Sayori's mischievous escapade, not escape. Mischievous escapade. I can English, okay, folks? I can totally English. I'm sure Natsuki will end up complaining to her anyway. It looks like everyone has already settled down. Sayori somehow already finished her entire cookie. Yuri is back to her book, and Natsuki disappeared into a closet. That's where she keeps her manga. Hey Yuri. I suddenly noticed that Yuri's reading a different book from the one we've been reading together. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. No, I was just kind of waiting for you. Ah, if that's the case, why don't we go ahead and get started? Yes, let's. Actually, I have a request. Do you mind if I make some tea first? Not at all. Thanks very much. There's one thing that can make my reading time here any better. It's a nice cup of tea. Not to mention for yourself as well. Oh? Oh? Yuri stands up and makes her way to the closet. I follow and watch as she retrieves a small water pitcher from the shelf, the kind with a filter inside. That's dope. Can you hold this for a second? Sure. Yuri hands me the water pitcher and also fetches an electric kettle. I'm going to plug this in at the teacher's desk and then we'll go get some water. She walks past me and sets the kettle down on the teacher's desk. I simply watch her movements. To my surprise, the way she moves really contrasts her speaking mannerisms. Especially because of her long legs, Yuri appears elegant and methodical. Okay, may I have the water pitcher? Thanks, I'll be right back. Ah, I may as well walk with you. Yeah, why not? Shall we go then? Yeah. Where are you two off to? Huh? Yuri's going to make some tea, so... I suddenly realized how weird it sounds to explain this to Monika. We're just filling the water pitcher. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just a bit curious. That's kind of a one-person job, isn't it? Monika, please mind your own business for once. Or do you want to tell me that there's... Or do you want to tell me there's something wrong with helping involve Natsuki in club activities? Wow. Oh no! Yuri! Yuri! Wait a minute here. What's with this interaction? I suppose there's nothing wrong with that. Then let's go, Natsuki. Ah, Yuri quickly exits the room and I follow. Oh my goodness. Once in the hallway, she suddenly puts her forehead against the wall. I spoke without thinking. How could I say something like that? Yuri, something about the way she said that made me feel so irritated. What's wrong with me? No, Yuri, I think you did the right thing. I wasn't expecting it, though. It's also not right for Monika to judge people like that. It's okay. How come even when I do something bad, you're being nice to me? Because nothing that you do is as bad as you make it seem in your head. Nobody's perfect. We have emotions, and we can't always hide them away, but you always amplify things in your head. Your mind turns a light rain shower into a hurricane. No. Wouldn't you hate me for something as terrible as that? Why would I hate you? I can't hate someone for having emotions. Oh my goodness, this is getting so soft. Just kiss already, oh my goodness. I can tell it's already leading up to this. What kind of friend would do that? Friend, you say. Yuri lifts her head. Natsuki, I really like being friends with you. Oh my goodness. Oh no. This is really gonna be a slow burner, isn't it? Thanks, Yuri. I like being friends with you too. I feel kind of awkward saying something like that, but I'm doing my best to help Yuri feel better. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, phone went off. Shall we go? Yeah. Yuri and I walk to the nearest water fountain. Once we fill up the water pitcher, we return to the classroom. Natsuki, do you like oolong tea? Yeah. Anything is fine. I feel like I've had oolong before. I think it was alright. Very well. Yuri sets the temperature on the kettle to 200 degrees. Now it's time to get the teapot. You really do this properly, don't you? Of course. I shouldn't do any less when I'm making tea for others. Even if I'm not an expert on tea or anything? In that case, you'll only be even more impressed. Perhaps I will. See, the weird part is, like in normal everyday conversation, our main character here, he's almost speaking exactly as I would. As I really like saying the word perhaps. Not to mention other things. To my surprise, she even starts humming a little to herself. You must be in a good mood now. Is that so? I was letting it show. And you noticed. I was doing a bit of thinking, and I decided I would try expressing myself a little bit more. It turns out it's not very hard for me to do. when it's you who's around anyway. Oh my goodness! It's clear a relationship here! Oh my goodness! So many flags! Good flags, not any red flags. Ah, that's great, Yuri. Just don't push yourself too much. You're always worrying about me, Nasake. It's very endearing. Yuri wasn't kidding. I don't even know if I can keep up with this. I'll let Yuri pour a cup of tea for each of us. Nasake, I have another request. Do you mind if we sit on the floor today? Huh? What's that? It's a little bit easier on my back. I can lean my back against the wall rather than bending over at my desk. Ah, sorry, I didn't realize. No worries. I just have a back pain fairly regularly, so I do my best to manage it. Is that so? Wonder why that is. It's most likely because your posture, right? Always hunched over like that while reading? Yes! That's clearly not that. I have terrible reading posture, so that's why we should sit on the floor. Fair enough. I'll go ahead and get the book. I retrieved the book from my bag. Ah, I have some chocolate as well. It's a bag of small chocolate candies I kept hidden from Sayori's candy radar. I take it since it'll go well with the tea. Yuri and I then sit against the wall, teacups at our sides. As if in sync, we assume the same reading position as last time, each holding one half of the book. Except this time, our bodies are even closer to each other. I can't see too well. Yuri slides closer until our shoulders are touching. How am I supposed to focus on reading like this? How are you? Yuri was always kind of cute, but when she's being less apprehensive, it's almost more than I can handle. Okay. Your teacup. Yuri hands me my teacup. Holding it with my hand that's not holding the book, I end up in a position that makes it even harder to focus. And now I have to worry about making sure I don't accidentally touch her chest. Meanwhile, Yuri hasn't noticed a single thing. She wears her intense reading expression, and I can only presume the world around her has faded away. I use all my willpower to focus on reading. After a few minutes, I finally managed to relax a little, put the teacup between my legs, and fumble with the chocolate wrapper. Sorry, briefly let go of the book to finish opening the wrapper. You can have as much as you want. Ah, that's okay. I won't take any. Huh? Are you sure? Well, if I touch it, then it might get smudges on the pages. Ah, you're right. Didn't even think about that. My bad. No need to apologize. I'll hold the book, okay? Are you sure? Of course. Yuri opens the book with both hands. Wow, look at those eyes. It's so dreamy. Oh my goodness. It's very focused. Interesting. She holds it so that I don't have any harder of a time reading from it. But as a result, her left arm is practically resting on top of my leg. Well, in that case, Yuri's already totally focused on reading again. I take a chocolate candy and pop it in my mouth. Then I take another chocolate and hold it up to Yuri. She doesn't even look away from the book. She simply parts her lips as if the situation was completely natural. That means I can't stop here. I apprehensively place a chocolate in her mouth. Oh, I see the chocolate. Just like that, Yuri closes her lips over it. Eh? Yuri's expression suddenly breaks. Did I just... Yuri looks at me like she needs to confirm what just happened. Wow. She's already getting so comfortable with me. Nasake. Sorry, I guess I shouldn't have done that. Well, you were just helping. That's something that friends do, right? Question mark. I mean, not really in this kind of context, but yeah, that's all it was. Yeah, then you don't need to stop or anything? Oh, you don't need to stop or anything. I see. The situation's gotten really tense. Yuri tries to return to the book, but I can tell just by her expression that she can't focus now. My heart is pounding. I nervously take another chocolate between my fingers. This time, Yuri's eyes meet mine. How did it even come to this? Yuri doesn't avert her gaze. Notice her chest rising and falling to the rhythm of her breaths. I raise my arm. Ah. Like before, Yuri parts her lips. What's different this time? I take the chocolate and place it in her mouth. I feel her hot breath on my fingers. Okay, everyone! What? Ah. Yuri jolts back. It's time to share poems. Natsuki, you can help Yuri put away the tea stuff, right? Yeah, of course. Okay, thanks. The spell is abruptly broken. I'll take care of the cups. Yeah, Yuri picks up the tea cups from the floor and pick up the bag of chocolates. Oh, I pick up the bag of chocolates. In the end, we hastily clean up without so much as a word between us. I get the feeling there's something neither of us will have the courage to bring up. My goodness. Who should I share my poem to first? Do we continue with Yuri first? Or actually, to be fair, we can do Yuri last. We do the opposite order. Let's do the opposite order. Natsuki. Well, it's not really any worse than your last one, but I can't really say it's any better either. Phew. Huh? Phew what? Ah, well, anything that isn't a train wreck, I'll take as a win. And I get the feeling you're probably the most critical. Hey, what makes you... Wait, maybe that was a compliment. Haha, gotta see someone recognizes my experience. Oh my goodness. She reminds me of an anime character. Like, mine from Akame Got Killed, I think. I mean, short, pink hair, attitude. Come on. Well then, keep practicing, maybe you'll be as good as me someday. That's, something tells me Natsuki completely missed the point. Come to think of it, that kind of reminds me of Sayori's poem from yesterday. Oh, you think so? Yeah, well I guess if you've been friends with her for so long, you might be on the same wavelength, but you never really struck me as her type. Sayori has a type all of a sudden? Well, I don't know, but honestly, how could someone so fluffy spend so much time with someone like you? It's like she's dragging around a dead weight. Damn! Just abuse me. Just, wow. I see how it is. No, that was a little unnecessary. But think of it this way. If it weren't for me, she probably would have just... oh my goodness. She would probably just fly away like letting go of a balloon. You can say we take care of each other in our own way. Whatever it is, I don't get it. Oh yeah, guess I'm supposed to show you my poem. Here. Amy likes spiders. You know what I heard about Amy? Amy likes spiders. Icky, wiggly, hairy, ugly spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a cute singing voice. I heard her singing my favorite love song. Every time she sang the chorus, my heart would pound to the rhythm of the words. But she likes spiders, that's why I'm not friends with her. One time I hurt my leg really bad. Amy helped me up and took me to the nurse. I tried not to let her touch me. She likes spiders, so her hands are probably gross. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a lot of friends. I always see her talking to people. She probably talks about spiders. What if her friends start to like spiders too? That's why I'm not friends with her. Doesn't matter if she has other hobbies. Doesn't matter if she keeps it private. It doesn't matter if it doesn't hurt anyone. It's gross. She's gross. The world's better off without spider lovers. And I'm gonna tell everyone. Jeez. Just, that's pretty rough. Poor Amy. Not bad, right? It's quite a bit longer than yesterday's. Yesterday's was way too short. I was just warming up. I hope you didn't think that was the best I could do. No, of course not. Anyway, that message is pretty straightforward in this poem. I doubt I have to explain it. Sometimes you can explain complicated issues with much simpler analogies, and it helps people realize how stupid they're being. Like, anyone would agree that the subject of this poem is an ignorant jerk. Do you know people like that? Of course, it's about how everyone thinks my... It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, folks. It doesn't matter. It could be about anything. I wrote it to be easy to relate to. Everyone has some kind of weird hobby or a guilty pleasure, something that you're afraid that if people find out, they make fun of you or think less of you. That just makes people stupid. Who cares what someone likes as long as they're not hurting anyone and it makes them happy? I think people really need to learn to respect others for liking weird things. Well, you're definitely right. At least I can relate to that. And I'm sure a lot of other people can too. It's what I do best after all. I don't like writing unless there's a good message to take away from it. Like, conveying emotions is important, but I want to make people think, not just feel. Remember that. I'm gonna write a good one for tomorrow, too, so look forward to it. I think it's Monika now? Hi, Natsuki. How's the writing going? Alright, I guess. I'll take that. As long as it's not going bad. I'm happy that you're applying yourself. Maybe soon you'll come up with a masterpiece. Haha, I wouldn't count on that. You never know. Want to share what you wrote for today? Sure, here you go. You give my poem to Monika. Alright, this one's good. It feels like you're not only getting more comfortable with your style, but the imagery is better than the last one I read. Just wondering, but have you been finding inspiration in Yuri's writing style? I guess so. You can't deny that she's talented. Yeah, wait, so was I, like, half Sayori and, like, half Yuri in the last poem? That'd be interesting. I think her poems are the most romantic. That's the best way to describe it. She's like a totally different person when she picks up a pen. I noticed that too. Or when she's talking about literature, it's like a light turns on inside her. Sadly, it's hard to get much personal conversation out of her. Trust me, I've tried. Who knows what's going on in that head of hers? Hope you don't mean that in a bad way. No, of course not. I just meant that I wish she didn't keep so much to herself. But still, defending her like that. You must be pretty into her. Huh? You completely misunderstood. Calm down, I'm kidding. Besides, I'm pretty sure she's already got a Oh, really? Oh, really? We about to fight. We about to fight right now. Wait, really? Yeah, a fictional one anyway. Don't you scare me like that. Jerk. Monika kind of whispers that last part to me. It's just a hunch, but, well, there's not really anything wrong with that. Wait a minute. A fictional boyfriend. That'd be interesting. Oh, well, I know. I was just saying... But anyway, you want to read my poem now? Oh, she's getting nervous. I like the way this one turned out, so I hope you do too. Alright, let's take a look. Save me. The colors, they won't stop. Bright, beautiful colors. Flashing, expanding, piercing, red, green, blue, an endless cacophony of meaningless noise. The noise, it won't stop. Violent, grating waveforms. Squeaking, screeching, piercing. Sine, cosine, tangent. Like playing a chalkboard on a turntable. Like playing a vinyl on a pizza crust. An endless poem of meaningless. Load me. Load me. I'm getting computer vibes from this, and I don't know why. Continue. It's even more abstract than your last one, huh? I guess it's just the way I write. I'm sorry if you don't like it. No, I never said that. It's just the kind of thing I've never really seen before, I guess. I kind of like playing with my space on the paper. Choosing where and how to space your words can totally change the mood of the poem. It's almost like magic. The way I wrote the lines really short makes it feel like they're trying to speak over the noise. I see. Still hard for me to tell what it's about, though. Sometimes asking what a poem is about isn't the right question. A poem can be as abstract as a physical expression of a feeling, or a conversation with the reader. So putting it in that way, not every poem is about something. Anyway, here's Monika's writing tip of the day. Take notes. Sometimes you'll find yourself facing a difficult decision. When that happens, don't forget to save your game. You never know when you might change your mind, or when something unexpected may happen. Wait, is this tip even about writing? What am I even talking about? That's my advice for today. Okay, thanks for listening. You're welcome. Sayori. Oh my goodness, this is so good, Nasake. Huh? I love it, especially after yesterday's poem. Ugh, you're too honest sometimes, Sayori. No, but really, I want to put this on my wall. Can I? Sayori, you must be seriously overreacting. I'm not a good writer at all. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, maybe that's why. Because I have no idea what I like either. Jeez. I'm sure Yuri's opinion has to be a little more constructive than this. Maybe even Natsuki's. Are you sure you don't like it just because I wrote it? Yeah? Well, I'm sure that's part of it. I think I understand you better than a lot of other people, you know? So when I read your poem, it's not just a poem. It's a Nasake poem. And that makes it feel extra special. Like I can feel your feelings in it. Zero hugs the sheet against her chest. I don't even know what to say. You're so weird, Sayori. Well, I'm not very good at figuring out if poems are good or bad. That's why I just go by my heart. If it makes me feel things, then it must be a good poem. I'm not sure that's exactly how that works. Then again, I guess conveying feelings is a pretty important part of this whole thing. Yeah, maybe. Honestly, I don't even know what kind of writing you like in the first place. Yeah, me neither. Oh my goodness. Why don't you at least try giving it some thought? You want to write something for me? That's so sweet. Yeah, right. But you're always thinking about other people. You think about yourself once in a while. If you don't, you might end up getting hurt at some point. Yeah? Well, I don't really know what you mean, but I'll try to keep it in mind. Well, whatever. Anyway, let's see. I guess I like happy poems. Wait, sometimes I like sad poems too. Sometimes a little bit of both. There's a word for that, right? What's the word I'm looking for? Bittersweet. Yeah. I like things that are happy and things that are sad. Happy and sad. I can't see you liking something sad, Sayori. Well, I like happy the most, but sometimes when you have a little rain cloud in your head, a sad poem can help give the rain cloud a little hug. Oh, just the way she sings, she's so positive. She's so positive. Even in a sad topic, she's so positive. Like, I like being positive. But this, oh my goodness. It almost hurts. And make a nice, happy rainbow. Sayori, that's unexpectedly poetic. Huh? It is? Maybe I'm getting better expressing my feelings after all. Thanks, Nasake. I should go write that down then. You can read my poem now, okay? Ooh, it's longer. Bottles. I pop off my scalp like the lid of a cookie jar. It's a secret place where I keep all my dreams. Little balls of sunshine all rubbing together like a bundle of kittens. I reach inside with my thumb and forefinger, pluck one out. It's warm and tingly, but there's no time to waste. I put it in a bottle and keep it safe. And I put the bottle on the shelf with all the other bottles. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts, and bottles all in a row. My collection makes me lots of friends. Each bottle a starlight to make amends. Sometimes my friend feels a certain way. Down comes a bottle to save the day. Night after night, more dreams. Friend after friend, more bottles. Deeper and deeper my fingers go, like exploring a dark cave, discovering the secret inside in the nooks and crannies, digging and digging, scraping and scraping. I blow dust off my bottle caps. Doesn't feel like time elapsed. My empty shelf could use some more. My friends look through my locked front door. Finally, all done, I open up, and in come my friends. In they come in such a hurry. Do they want my bottles that much? I frantically pull them from the shelf, one after the other, holding them out to each and every friend, each and every bottle. But every time I let one go, it shatters against the tile between my feet. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts in shards all over the floor. They were supposed to be for my friends, my friends who aren't smiling. They're all shouting, pleading, something, but all I hear is echo, 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 echo inside my head. That went from very happy to pretty concerning, actually. Like we were just talking about. Is it like every time I let one go, it shatters against the tile between my feet? Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts, and shards all over the floor. They were supposed to be for my friends who aren't smiling. They're all shouting, pleading, something. All I hear is echo, echo, echo. So is that like... when you're trying to comfort a friend? With like a happy thought? Like a memory y'all shared or something? But like you forgot it? And so they're all shouting, pleading, something. Maybe something about like the memory like you had, but you just forgot it, you know? And like all you hear is echo, echo, echo inside your head. Because you're hearing their words over and over, trying to remember it, but you just can't, you know? Shouting, pleading, something. I guess you're really wishing you remembered it. Or they just want help from that memory, you know? That's interesting. Holy crap. Sayori, did you really write this? Of course I did. Didn't I tell you yesterday I was gonna write the best poem ever? Yeah, but, I mean, I didn't expect something like this. Coming from you. Monika taught me a whole lot, and I've been really in touch with my feelings recently. I see that. It's almost kind of creepy. Creepy? Well, not exactly. Maybe because I'm so used to being cheerful. Well, never mind. I'm thinking too hard about it. The point is, it came out good, and you should be proud of it. Aw, thanks. I feel like I was meant to express myself this way. It even helps me understand my own feelings a little better. Writing is like magic. You've gotten pretty passionate about this, huh? Hope you keep it up. Yeah, writing's the best. I'm gonna keep writing until I die. Don't get ahead of yourself. Sayori's always had a habit of getting obsessed with something before dropping it no more than a week later. Wonder if this is one of those times. But seeing the passion in your eyes makes it hard for me to be pessimistic. Okay, here we go. Yuri! Let's see what you've written for today. Yuri stares at the poem with a surprised expression on her face. Do you like it? Misake, this one might be even better than yesterday's. How did you even pick up on this so quickly? Just yesterday I was telling you the kind of techniques worth practicing. Maybe that's why. You did a good job explaining. I really want to try giving it more imagery. Yuri visibly swallows. Even her hands appear sweaty. I'm not used to this. Used to what? I don't know. It's fine. Take your time. Yuri breathes and collects her thoughts. I know that Yuri likes to think before she speaks, so I offer that patience to her. Yeah, just being appreciated like this, I guess. It probably sounds really stupid, but seeing someone motivated by my writing just makes me really happy. Oh my goodness. Are you saying you've never shared your writing before? Yuri nods. Really? I don't believe it. I really only write for myself, and besides, people would just laugh at me. Do you really think that? Again, Yuri nods. Huh. Even your close friends? Yuri doesn't respond to that. I wonder why. Anyway, do you want to share the poem you wrote today? Yeah, I do. If it's with you. Okay. The raccoon. It happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the scuttering of a raccoon outside my window. That was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an unordinary human. I gave the raccoon a piece of my bread, my subconscious well aware of the consequences. Well aware that a raccoon that is fed will always come back for more. The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was the symptom. The bread, my hungry curiosity, the raccoon, an urge. The moon increments its phase and reflects that much more light off of my cutting knife. The very same light that glistens in the eyes of my raccoon friend. I slice the bread, fresh and soft. The raccoon becomes excited, or perhaps I'm merely projecting my emotions on the newly satisfied animal. The raccoon has taken to following me. You could say that we've gotten quite used to each other. The raccoon becomes hungry more and more frequently, so my bread is always handy. Every time I brandish my cutting knife, the raccoon shows me with its excitement. A rush of blood, classic Pavlovian conditioning. I slice the bread and I feed myself again. Wait, what? Wait a minute, is it an actual raccoon? Or is this like metaphorical? The raccoon has to symbolize something. It's not an actual raccoon. So my bread is always handy. I can't like quite word it, but I don't know. I was a little more daring with this one than yesterday's. I could see that. It's a lot more metaphorical. I don't know if it's my fault, but I can't begin to imagine what this poem is about. That's right, it's a bit closer to my preferred writing style. Using the poem as a canvas to express vivid imagery and conveying emotions through them. Yeah, if I take it at face value, then I can't even figure out what it's supposed to mean. Well, I think it's something that different people can relate to in their own way. Or to express the way it feels for me to indulge in my more unusual hobbies. And those sorts of things I'm usually forced to keep to myself. Wasn't the knife used quite often in that poem? I'm going to not question that. So I sometimes enjoy writing about them. Huh, that's funny. Did Natsuki also write something about that? About someone being ridiculed for a strange interest? She did? Yeah. She was talking about how it doesn't matter what you're into as long as you're not hurting anybody. She's right. I mean, does she really feel that way? Yeah. Sounds like you two have that in common. That's interesting. To me, she seemed like the kind of person who would make fun of my hobbies. But I suppose that's my fault for judging, isn't it? Please don't tell her I said that. Don't worry, I have no reason to. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing it with me. After all, if I hadn't learned to embrace my own weirdness, I would probably hate myself. I might be ranting a little bit now, but I'm glad you're a good listener. You're good at a lot of things. Writing, listening. There really aren't many people like you, Nasake. Oh, that's exaggerating a little bit. It's just how I feel. I never thought I would feel so comfortable sharing my writing, but now I feel like I look forward to it. It's just a really nice feeling, and you're to thank for that. It's nothing really. Isn't this like the second day, like, of me being here? Actually, the third day, because it's when I got there. Then I wrote the poem for the next day, and this is the second poem I wrote for this day. Yuri smiles sincerely at me. For just a moment, her timidness seems to disappear. Okay, everyone, we're all done reading each other's poems, right? I have something extra planned today, so if everyone could come sit at the front of the room. I feel like I should save. I don't know why. Okay, is this about the festival? Well, sort of. Do we really have to do something for the festival? It's not like we could put together anything good in just a few days. We'll just end up embarrassing ourselves instead of getting any new members. That's a concern of mine as well. Oh god, starting to yawn. I really don't do well with last minute preparations. Don't worry so much. We're going to keep it simple, okay? We won't need much more than a few decorations. Sayori has been working on posters, and I've designed some pamphlets we can give out during the event. Okay, that's great and all. Doesn't that tell us that we're actually going... That doesn't tell us what we're actually going to do for the event. Ah, sorry, I thought you heard about it already. We're going to be performing. Performing? But, Monika. Yeah, we're going to be having a poetry performance. Each of us are going to choose a poem to recite during the event. But the cool part is, we're also going to let anyone else come up with and recite poems too. Sayori's putting it all in the posters in case anyone wants to prepare ahead of time. Sayori, who's been coloring a poster, holds it up for us to see. Are you kidding me, Monika? You didn't already start putting those posters up, did you? Well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea? Well, no, it's not a bad idea. I just didn't sign up for this, you know? There's no way I'm going to be performing in front of a group of people like that. I agree with Natsuki. I could never, in my life, do something like that. Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear. Guys, no, Sayori, I understand where they're coming from. Remember that Natsuki and Yuri have never shared their poems with anyone until just a couple days ago. It's a lot to ask for them to recite their poems out loud to a whole room full of people. Guess I kinda overlooked that, so I'm sorry. But, I still think we should give it our best. We're the only ones responsible for the fate of this club. If we start the event and each put on a good performance, then it will inspire others to do the same. And the more people who perform, the better we'll be able to show everyone what literature is all about. Yeah, it's about expressing your feelings, being intimate with yourself, finding new horizons, and having fun. That's right. And it's those reasons that we're all in this club today. Don't you want to share that with others? To inspire them to find the same feeling that brought you here in the first place? I know you do. I know we all do. And if all it takes is standing in front of a room for 2 minutes and reciting a poem, then I know you can do it. Natsuki and Yuri remain silent. Sayori looks worried. Guess that leaves me no choice. I agree. I don't think it's too much to ask. I think Sayori and Monika have been really trying hard to get new members. The least we could do is help them out a little bit. Well, maybe, but looks like Natsuki doesn't have any arguments left. Okay, fine. I guess I'll just have to get it over with. Oh, right. Phew. Thanks, Natsuki. What about you, Yuri? Yuri dejectedly glances around everyone else's expectant faces. I guess I really don't have a choice. Haha, that's everyone! You're the best, Yuri! The club is seriously going to be the death of me. Oh gosh, you'll be fine, Yuri. But anyway, let's move on to the main event. When each of you choose a poem of yours, we're going to practice reciting them in front of other people. No way! Monika, this is too sudden. Well, if you can't recite your poem in front of the club, how do you expect to do it in front of strangers? Oh no. Don't worry. I'll start off to help everyone feel a little more comfortable. Oh man, the drink. Can I go next? Of course. Now let's see. Monika flips through her notebook to the specific poem she had in mind for herself, and she stands behind the podium. The title of this poem is The Way They Fly. Ahem. Monika begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. More than that, her inflection is pristine. She knows exactly how to apply emotion behind each line she recites, bringing the words to life. Is this something she's done before, or is she simply a natural? I glance around me. Everyone has their eyes on Monika. Sayori looks amazed. Yuri has an intense expression on her face that I don't understand. Finally, Monika finishes a recitation. Recitation. The four of us applaud. Monika takes a breath and smiles. That was so good, Monika! Thank you very much. I was just hoping to set a good example. Are you ready to go next, Sayori? I'll go next. Wow, Yuri's fired up all of a sudden. Yuri clenches the sheet of paper between her hands and stands up. Keeping her head down, she walks quickly over to the podium. This poem is called Yuri Anxiously Glances at Each of Us. You could do it, Yuri. It's called After Image of Crimson's Eye. I think After Image and Crimson were the two words I actually chose. Last poem. Yuri's voice shakes as she starts reading the poem. Just a moment ago, she practically refused to do this. Why is she suddenly putting in so much effort? As Yuri gets past the first couple of lines, her voice changes. It's almost like what happened when Yuri gets absorbed into her books. Her quivering words transform into the sharp syllables of a fierce and confident woman. Hell yeah! The poem is full of twists and turns in its structure that she enunciates with perfect timing. This must be a rare glimpse into the writing of the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed inside her head. Suddenly, she's finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri steps back to reality and glances around her, as if she bewildered even herself. It's up to me to save the situation. I'm the first to start applauding. Everyone joins me afterward, and we give Yuri the recognition she deserves. It's not that we didn't want to applaud for her, but we were caught so off guard that we must have forgotten. As we applaud, Yuri holds up poem to her chest and rushes back into her seat. Yuri, that was really good. Thank you for sharing. Looks like Yuri is down for the count. Okay, guess I'm next then. Sayori hops out of her chair and cheerfully walks to the podium. This one is called My Meadow. Sorry, I giggled. Sayori, it's a lot harder than I thought. How do you guys do it so easily? Try not to think of it like you're reciting to other people. Imagine you're reciting to yourself, like in front of a mirror or in your own head. It's your poem, so it'll come out the best that way. I see, okay then. Sayori begins her poem. Somehow I feel like her soft voice was made as a perfect match. The poem isn't aimlessly cheery like Sayori is. It's serene and bittersweet. If I were to read this on paper, I probably wouldn't think much of it. But hearing it come from Sayori's voice almost gives it a whole new meaning. Maybe this is what Sayori meant when she said she likes my poems. So I get to reach more deeply into something I thought I knew through and through. Sayori finishes and we applaud. I did it! Good job, Sayori. Even Nasake liked it. I guess that's a good sign. What does that even mean? It came out nicely, Sayori. The atmosphere of the poem fits you really nicely. But it might be that other poems wouldn't work quite as well with that kind of delivery. I don't really understand. In other words, I've seen poems of yours where that sort of gentle delivery wouldn't work as well. They might need a little more force behind them, depending on what you're reading. Oh, I know what you mean. Well, I've been practicing that sort of thing. It's just embarrassing to do it in front of everyone. The next time, I'm going to make you pick a poem that challenges you a little more. We don't have much time before the festival, you know? Okay. Now, who's next? Natsuki? Don't make me go before Nasake. It's not like I can compare to you guys anyway. Might as well let Nasake lower everyone's standards a little before I have to do it. Jeez, okay, fine. Natsuki. It's fine. May as well get it over with. It's not like I have much of a selection of what to read. I just have to go with what I wrote for today. I stand up and step in front of the podium. Everyone has their eyes on me, making me feel terribly awkward. I recite my poem. Since I'm not exactly confident in my own writing, it's hard to put energy into it. Despite that, once I finish, I receive applause anyway. So I'm not really good as everyone else. Don't worry about it so much. I think it's less about your abilities and more about your lack of confidence in your writing. That's something that'll improve over time though. Yeah, maybe. Alright then, that just leaves you, Natsuki. Yeah, I'm going. Natsuki begrudgingly gets out of her seat and makes her way to the podium. The poem is called... Why are you all looking at me? It's because you're presenting. Anyway, the poem is called Jump. Natsuki takes a breath. When she starts reciting the poem, her sour attitude disappears a little. While she's still a little unenthused, her poem has a rhythm and a rhyme to it. It's Natsuki's trademark style, and it works surprisingly well when spoken aloud. The words feel like they bounce up and down, as if giving life to the poem. Natsuki finishes, and everyone applauds. She helps back to her seat. That wasn't so bad, was it? Easy for you to say. You better not make me do that again. Ah, well. Do you at least feel prepared enough to recite a poem in front of other people? I mean, doing it in front of other people will be way easier. I can put it on whatever face I want for other people. When it's just my friends, it's just embarrassing. That's a surprise, Natsuki. I think it would be the other way around for me. Well, that's how it is, so... Well, I guess in that case, you won't have much to worry about for the festival. That said, I want to thank everyone for coming through. It might be hard, but I hope that you all have an idea of what it's like now. Make sure you pick a poem and get enough practice for the festival, okay? What? I'll be making pamphlets, so let me know ahead of time what you'll be reciting. Jeez. I should probably find some other poems to recite instead. That's fine too. It doesn't have to be your own. I'm already pleasantly surprised that you're putting in all this effort for the club. Makes me really happy. What's with this skirt? Yeah, no problem. Okay, everyone. I think that's about it for today. I know the festival's coming up, but let's try to write poems for it tomorrow as well. It's been working out really nicely so far, so I'd like to continue that. As for the festival, we'll finish planning tomorrow, and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Monday's the big day. Can't wait. I could do this. Alright. I stand up. There's no way I'll be able to find the same enthusiasm as Sayori and Monika. I'll do my best to get through it. It's for the sake of the club. And impressing Monika. No, Nasake. Not Monika, Yuri. Impress Yuri. Ready to go, Sayori? Yep, look at you two, always going home together like that. It's kind of adorable, isn't it? Jeez, guys, don't make such a big deal out of it. It must be a little nice, though. Well, How am I supposed to respond to that? It's okay, Natsuki, you don't have to say it. Whatever, let's go already. Oh, Yuri's gonna get jealous. Well, I'll come with Sayori once more. Even though it's only been a few days, a lot of things have already changed. But today, Sayori is being a little quieter than usual on the way home. Hey, Sayori. Sorry, I was spacing out. Ah, no wonder. I was thinking about something from earlier. I like how we get to... I mean, Sayori fumbles with her words. So let's just say that one day, Yuri asked to walk home with you. Huh? What would you do? What kind of question is that? Kind of putting you on the spot here. Well... Oh no. Let's save here, actually. How could I say this to her face? Oh no. Well, if I'm being actually, I don't know. Walking home with Yuri, huh? Why does the thought of that make me a heart pound? I mean, given how hard it is for her to socialize, I would feel awful turning her down, so... Isn't she so beautiful and smart? That has nothing to do with what I just said. You admitted it? Jeez. There's not even any point in speculating something that's never gonna happen. Well, maybe. I'd just like to think about it. It's not long before you won't need me anymore, you know? Need you. Sayori, can't figure out how you're seeing things in your head right now. Sorry, everyone is different. Nobody in the club is a replacement for you. If you say so. Conversation trails off and I'm left feeling awkward. But it was the kind of her fault for trapping me with such a weird question. Oh no. I can already see these little things. They're building up. I can't just lie to her, but if there's something that makes her happy, I would hate to take that away from her. That's why I said there's no point in speculating. Then again, the festival is only in a few days away. Who knows what will happen in that time? Okay. Let's do this. We have Fear, Mouse, Bliss, Eternity, Sing, Summer, Pain, Fireflies, Kitty, Waterfall, Fireflies. Cute, Fantasy, Insight, Graveyard, Despise, Headphones, Vitality, Color, Ocean, Disoriented. This one... I don't know. I'm actually not too sure. I really like the ocean, but I like color. Vitality is nice though. Let's be a little offbeat. I guess I play a lot of horror games. Let's go with Graveyard. Unrequited, Parfait, Kawaii, Pout, Email, Friends, Imagination, Fickle, Misfortune, Vertigo. I already chose Parfait and Kawaii. And Imagination. I don't know if I chose Friends or not. Let's go Fickle. Let's see. Clumsy, Flee, Atone, Marriage, Smile, Joy, Anxiety, Lucky, Beauty, Tragedy. I think I already chose Atone. Lucky. I like luck. See, Charm, Cheeks, Cry, Pleasure, Daydream, Extraordinary, Agonizing, Childhood, Melody, and Jump. I think I already hit Daydream at one point. I don't know. I think I already hit Charm as well, but I'm not sure. Childhood, Extraordinary. extraordinary. Lipstick, Doki-Doki, awesome, wrath, jumpy, shopping, pure, candy, socks, and unstable. Like socks. Awesome, wrath, shopping, pure. Let's go with unstable. I don't know why, just appealing. Swimsuit, vivid, wonderful, extreme, dark, hope, ribbon, rose, amazing, and tears. Ooh. I don't know. I think I already chose hope at one point. And rose. Let's go vivid. Let's see. Promise, variance, understrain, disown, ring cloud, fester, prayer, puppy, special, and forgive. I already chose variance. And ring cloud. No, I didn't choose ring cloud. I did choose ring cloud. Yeah, I did. I really like puppies. They're cute. That's special. Special. See, contamination, vibrant, together, music, electricity, flying, lollipop, inferno, calm, and silly. Let's go vibrant. Fireworks, broken, uncanny, poof, entropy, climax, meager, excitement, feather, and nature. Go with nature. I like nature. Raindrops, adventure, intellectual, ambient, captive, whistle, precious, scars, philosophy, and nibble. I feel like I already hit intellectual. I already hit adventure. I don't know if I hit precious or not, but captive? Like captivating? Scars? Let's go scars. Scars heal, but you learn from them. Boop, giggle, whirlwind, milk, incapable and sensation, fun, bubbles, clouds, and depression. I already hit clouds, I already hit fun. Let's go with whirlwind. Why not? Marshmallow, empty, massacre, spinning, memories, rainbows, sunset, journey, valentine, anger. I already hit empty. I already hit memory. Did I hit memories? I don't know. I already hit journey. The music is great. Spinning? You spin me. Okay, let's do it. Alright, sweet. Portrait, family, hop, skipping, analysis, bunny, dazzle, grief, incongruent. Gotta dazzle them, you know? Starscapes, question, heartbeat, nightgown, unending, chocolate, frightening, landscape, vacation, play. Ooh, let's go. Question. Defeat, cheer, disarray, hopeless, time, horror, atone, skirt, laugh, twirl. I don't know. I like cheer. Cheering is cool. I like to cheer. Not cheerleader. I also like time. Time's cool. Universe, blanket, misery, heaven sent, love, effulgent, hurt, playground, covet, sticky. I don't know what covet means. Oh, I can actually search that up. Although, I also don't know what effulgent means. Let me actually see what this means. Ah. Let's see. Effulgent. Shining brightly or radiant. Oh, that's cool. And then we have covet. Yearn to possess or have. Example, he covets time for exercise and fishing. Synonyms: desire, to be consumed with desire for, crave, want. Okay, we're learning, folks. Effulgent then. Heck yeah, shine. Vivacious, comfort, party, fluffy, strawberry, holiday, judgment, lust, melancholy, and shame. I already hit strawberry. I don't know if I hit vivacious or not. I actually don't know what that means either. Oh my goodness. Just realizing this. Vivacious. Attractively lively and animated. Typically used of a woman. What? Vivacious and elegant mother. Synonyms: lively, animated, full of life, spirited, high-spirited, bubbling, bubbly, buoyant, sparkling, carefree. Okay. Happy-go-lucky, jaunty, merry, happy, jolly, joyful. I like that. Jaunty, merry, happy, jolly, joyful. I like the way that sounds. Cool. I don't know. I really don't know what this one. You know, I just watched this anime. That's like, it's a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist. So I'm kind of torn between judgment and lust on that one. Fuck it. Lust. Wow. Yuri? Okay. Disaster, bouncy, breathe, crimson, uncontrollable, passion, peace, dream, embrace, sadness. I already hit dream. Passion. Shiny, aura, anime, secretive, destiny, heart, whisper, happiness, suicide, and pink. Don't know. I already hit shiny. I already hit anime. Oh, whisper. I think that one was really, like, how do I say it? That was really Yuri and Sayori. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I think from what I saw, they were really, like, it's like Sayori, then Yuri, Sayori, Yuri, Sayori, Yuri, you know, like at the very beginning. Anyways. Let's see down an empty slot. Return. Oh man, I'm the last one here again. Don't worry, I just walked in too. Were you practicing piano again? Yeah. You must have a lot of determination. Starting this club and now picking up piano? Well, maybe not determination, but I guess passion. Remember that the club wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you. And I'm super happy that you're all willing to help out the festival too. Oh, I can't wait for the festival. It's gonna be great. Huh? Weren't you complaining about it yesterday, Natsuki? Oh yeah, I'm not talking about our part of the festival. It's a whole day of school where we get to play and eat all kinds of delicious food. She's not wrong. You sound a bit like Sayori all of a sudden. Monika, do they usually have fried squid? Squid? That's a pretty specific thing to look forward to. Oh, come on. Are you saying you don't like squid? You of all people. I didn't say I don't like it. Besides, what do you mean by you of all people? Because it's right in your name. Monika. Oh my goodness. That's not how you say my name at all. Also, that joke makes no sense in translation. Oh, that's great. Oh man. It does make no sense in translation. Huh? Never mind. Let's just focus on our own event for now, okay? Yeah. Okay. For those of you who don't get it, learn some Japanese. Fine. Your reactions aren't as fun as Yuri's or Sayori's anyway. Excuse me, where is Sayori anyway? Oh, there you are. Sayori is sitting at a desk in a corner of the room, looking down at nothing. I walk over to her. Hey, Sayori. I wave my hand in front of her face. Eh? You're spacing out again. Sorry, don't mind me. You can go talk to everyone else. Huh? Is everything alright? Of course. Why wouldn't it be? It just feels like you're a little off. Sorry for assuming things. Jeez, you worry too much about me. I'm fine, see? Sayori shows me a big smile. Don't let me distract you from having fun with everyone. Well, alright, if you say so. I worriedly glanced at Sayori before turning back towards everyone else. The conversation is already dispersed, with everyone back at their usual activities. Maybe I should ask Monika if she's noticed anything about Sayori recently. Since they've been preparing for the festival, they must be spending a lot of time together. I timidly approached Monika, who was shuffling through some papers at her desk. Natsuki, what's up? Hey, this might sound a little strange, but have you noticed anything up with Sayori recently? Anything up with her? In what way do you mean? You know I'm reading into a little too much, but she seems a bit downcast today. Oh, you think so? Can't say I've noticed anything about her. Monika appears across from Sayori, who is idly dragging a rubber eraser up and down her desk. Maybe there is something on her mind. I'm surprised I'm not the one. Well, I'm surprised I'm not the one asking you, Natsuki. You certainly know her a lot better than I do. Yeah, but she's never really like this. She always talked to me about things that bothered her. But this time, when I asked her, she was really dismissive. Sorry, I know it's not your problem. I just want to ask if you knew anything, so I'll drop it now. No. It's important to me too. I mean, I'm also friends with her. I also care about the well-being of my club members, you know? Maybe I'll try talking to her myself. Okay, are you sure about that? She seemed like she wanted to be left alone. You sure? Maybe she just has a hard time bringing it up with the person of interest. Person of interest? What do you mean by that? Saying that maybe the thing on her mind is you, Natsuki. Me? That's from that question of yesterday. How on earth would you come to that conclusion? Well, I probably shouldn't say too much, but Sayori talks about you more than anything else, you know? Huh? She's been so much happier ever since you joined the club. It's like an extra light was turned on inside of her. What? No way. Sayori is always like that. She's always been full of sunshine. It's not any different now than it always has been. You're so funny, Natsuki. Have you thought that maybe you're always seeing her as so cheerful because that's just how she is when she's around you? Okay. I said too much. I'm sorry, what do I know anyway? I didn't mean to jump to conclusions, but you should just forget about what I said. I'll try to talk to her, so try not to think about it for now. Alright. Monika smiles meaningly. Meaningly? Did I read that right? Meaningfully? I know she said forget about it, but I already know that I won't be able to get her words out of my head. Monika stands up from her desk and walks across the room to where Sayori is sitting. Watch her kneel down next to Sayori and gently talk to her, but she's keeping her voice so quiet that I can't hear her from here. I sigh and sit myself down. I know Sayori told me not to worry about her and to have fun with everyone else. What's possible to do when she's behaving like this? How much do I care about her? That I'm letting this weigh me down so much. Now it feels like I'm the one behaving out of the ordinary. There's nothing I can do besides wait for Monika. Why does I feel like I'm being watched? I glance around the room. Suddenly I notice Yuri peering at me from over her book, but she looks away just as quickly with a flustered look on her face. I realize that she won't get anywhere like this. I haven't really seen Yuri approach anyone or start a conversation on her own accord, so I have no choice but to approach her myself. But now it's a little easier for me to do that. I stand up from my desk and sit in the one next to her own. I didn't mean to bother you or anything. Relax, you didn't even do anything. But I could tell that you wanted to be alone with your thoughts. Alone with my thoughts? How are you even able to tell what I was thinking like that? Well, it's something that I do a lot, so it wasn't hard for me to spot based on your posture and expression. Not that I was staring or anything. I didn't do anything creepy like that. In any case, I guess you were right. I'm sorry if I caused you any concern. Don't apologize. Your troubles are only the concern of those who willingly share in that concern. Of course, there are certainly those who find the most comfort in keeping to themselves. But if you would prefer to share what's on your mind, then I would be glad to listen. It's really not that big of a deal. I was just feeling a bit uneasy about Sayori. Sayori? Yeah, she seemed to be a little off today, but when I asked her about it, she didn't want to admit it to me, so I can't help but wonder if something happened to her. Oh, that's quite romantic. Huh? Sorry, I didn't mean to say something stupid. It's not that. I just didn't want you to misunderstand. Sayori and I just have been friends for a long time, that's all. I see. Perhaps it is unusual for her to be dismissive to you about her feelings. Or maybe I'm reading into it a little too much. Nasake, the world's full of meaning, often hidden deep beneath plain sight. And there are many untold mysteries behind every person, no matter how well you may know them. I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like she's talking about herself on this one. Ah, so you think there might be something behind it after all? I think that Sayori is a very complex person. Her mannerisms on the outside don't always match what may be going on inside her head, and she may not always know what she wants. I noticed her strange behavior today too, and I also feel some concern for her. But in your case, it looked like she was fully occupying your thoughts, wasn't she? Well, I guess that was the case. Sayori, she really means a lot to you, doesn't she? I guess. But you don't need to put it that way. We're just good friends, that's all. Yuri suddenly looks deeply into my eyes. Her expression is gentle and curious, as if she was searching for something. Embarrassed, I avert my gaze. Sometimes, a person's mysteries are untold even to themselves, and you, as someone honest and caring, may uncover feelings you weren't aware were in you. That is, I think that she would be a very fortunate person to have you feel that way about her. Yuri, you're giving me too much credit. I'm a pretty simple guy, so I think I'm pretty good at understanding my own feelings. I'm not nearly as sophisticated as you. That's not a compliment, is it? It is what it is. Anyway, as long as we're here, why don't we do some reading? Well, as long as you're okay with it. Yeah, I should be taking my mind off this whole thing anyway. Okay, everyone. After some time passes, Monika calls out to the club room. Why don't we share our poems now? Before I know it, everything is back to normal. Everyone goes to retrieve their poems, and I do the same. I make eye contact with Monika, and she smiles at me. Wonder what she was talking about with Sayori. Who are we gonna share our poem to this time? Okay. Let's go with the one in question, Sayori. It's nice, I guess. Come on, I can already tell you don't like it. Well, you don't need to worry about what I think. After all, you wrote this for someone else, didn't you? Probably Yuri. Eh? I didn't write this for anyone specifically. Maybe. That's not really what I meant, though. But it's okay. You're making new friends, just like I was hoping. That makes me really happy. And you're happy too, right? In this club? Well, of course I am. Good. That's all that matters to me. Thank you, Natsuki. Sayori, is there something wrong? Huh? No, nothing. I'm just a little tired today. Alright. Just tell me if you need anything. Oh my goodness, she really likes me. It feels so bad. Oh no. I will. Don't worry about me, okay? You can go play with everyone else now. If you insist. Yay, gonna go home a little bit early today. Sayori, tell Monika I wasn't feeling well, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. Before I could say anything else, Sayori cheerfully walks out of the classroom, humming to herself. I didn't even get to read her poem. Let's go to Monika then. Hi Natsuki, have you thought about what you want to submit to perform at the festival? Well, being in this club is one thing, performing in front of a bunch of people, I'll have to give it some more thought. Okay, no pressure, but whatever you do, I'm sure it'll turn out great. It would also make me happy to see. Anyway, let's take a look at today's poem. Sure, I let Monika take the poem I'm holding from my hands. Your style has gotten so refined, Natsuki. Yuri's been teaching you a lot of things, hasn't she? Well, I guess so. Yeah, I've been noticing how much time you spend with her. I think I've heard her say more words this past couple of days when she has talked in this whole year. Not sure how you did it, but that's pretty impressive. Well, she just needs some patience and a way to talk about all the things in her head, I guess. I'm still getting the hang of it myself. You're certainly putting in a lot of effort. You must really like her. That's... I'm awfully suspicious, you know? Or it's awfully suspicious. Spending time with her in the club room every day, reading that edgy novel with her. Well, I just feel bad that she has a hard time socializing. It makes me want to make sure she doesn't spend all her time alone. Besides, the novel isn't too bad either, you know? Alright, I get you. Just be careful, alright? I know that Yuri isn't used to opening herself up, so if something happens while she's vulnerable, then it could be really hard for her. Her books aren't a total escape from reality. They're just a bandage. You say that like I'm going to hurt her. Sorry, I didn't really mean that. If anything, she might accidentally hurt herself. how? Anyway, I'll share my poem with you now, alright? I'm getting a lot of flags here, okay? From almost everybody except for Natsuki. Alright. The lady who knows everything. In old tale tells of a lady who wanders earth. The lady who knows everything. The beautiful lady who has found every answer. All meaning, all purpose. And all that was ever sought. And here I am, a feather. Lost adrift the sky. Victims of the currents of the wind. Day after day I search. I search with little hope, knowing legends don't exist. But when all else has failed me, when all others have turned away, the legend is all that remains, the last dim star glimmering in the twilight sky. Does it say twilight or twilight? In the twilight sky. I like that word, twilight. Oh my goodness. I hope that's not a typo and that's an actual word. Until one day the wind ceases to blow. I fall, and I fall and fall, and fall even more, gentle as a feather, a dry quill, expressionless. But a hand catches me between the thumb and forefinger, the hand of a beautiful lady. I look at her eyes and find no end to her gaze. The lady who knows everything knows what I am thinking. Before I can speak, she responds in a hollow voice. I have found every answer, all of which amount to nothing. There is no meaning, there is no purpose, and we seek only the impossible. I am not your legend does not exist. And with a breath, she blows me back afloat, and I pick up a gust of wind. This is a really cool poem. I like this. It's really... Continue. You know, I feel like learning and looking for answers are the sort of things that give life meaning. Not to get too philosophical or anything. But it was kind of on my mind, so that's what I wrote about. I see. Never really put much thought into it. In a way, it's almost paradoxical. Because if we had all the answers, wouldn't the world start to lose its meaning? You know, there's one thing I'd noticed. It seems like everyone in the club prefers writing about things that are more sad than happy. Are you surprised? When if everything was okay, we wouldn't really have anything to write about, would we? Humans aren't two-dimensional creatures. I think you know that better than anyone. You mean one-dimensional? Yeah, that. Anyway, here's Monika's writing tip of the day. Take notes. Are you ever too shy to share your writing because you're afraid it's not that good? It can be really disheartening to get a lukewarm response to something you put so much into. But if you find other people who enjoy writing, then sharing comes a lot easier. Because instead of just telling you that your writing is good or okay or bad, they will want to focus more on everything that went into it and the things you can work on. It's much more encouraging that way. It will make you want to continue improving. It's almost like your own little literature club, don't you think? That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for more. Let's go to Yuri. Sake, your writing has only improved in these last few days. Every poem you showed me has been nothing short of spectacular. I can really feel the emotions. I'm a little envious even. I don't think it ever came to me this naturally. Yuri, that's the wrong way to put it. This never did come naturally to me, but I've been able to improve so much thanks to you. You're really the example I was chasing after. Is that so? Yuri gently smiles to herself. This feeling. I'm so glad I got the chance to share my writing. Never thought it would feel like this. I remember you mentioning that yesterday. I can't believe you're so good at something you've never even shared it with anyone. It's kind of a shame. Maybe, but it's not like I really had a choice. What do you mean? Well, Yuri smiles sadly. Sake, during lunchtime, I eat by myself. Did you know that? It's a great time to find a quiet spot and do some reading. In fact, I always have some books with me. You could say I really enjoy reading. Well, that's one way to put it anyway. But books are so full of amazing, inspiring people. People you want to fall in love with. Or people you just know would make a really good friend. Cheerful people who always put a smile on your face. Or deep thinkers and problem solvers who discover the mysteries of life. So when you look at it that way, I'm surrounded by friends every day. You know? And those friends don't laugh at me. They don't tease me for spacing out all the time. They don't make fun of my body type. And they don't hate me for acting like a know-it-all. People say that about you? I'm not a know-it-all, Natsuki. I'm the opposite. I don't know anything. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to make people see me as normal. I don't even know how to make myself happy. I have all these feelings, and all I can do with them is read and write. But it wasn't until now that I started sharing it with you that I really understood what was missing all this time. Are we gonna get a confession here? But I haven't really done anything. No, that's wrong. Just being patient and respectful. That's really important to me. I know I'm a difficult person, Asake. I speak too slowly. I second guess myself all the time. I read too deeply into things. But every time, you've always treated me just like anyone else. It's so weird that I feel comfortable with myself when I talk to others. That's why every time I talk to you, I just feel really happy. I see. Well, I treat you how you deserve to be treated, Yuri. And if other people don't see it that way, then screw them. Hell yeah. I mean, I just joined this club, hoping I would make some friends, and I would say I've had at least one success. Wouldn't you? If you put it that way, yeah, we really are friends now, aren't we? Yuri puts her head in her hands, but this time she's smiling as she does it. Do you want to show me your poem? Yeah, I do. Let me get it for you. Oh my goodness. That was a real heart-to-heart. Whew. Okay. Ghosts Under the Light Part 2. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. In the distance, a blue-green light flickers. A lone figure crosses its path, a silhouette obstructing the eerie glow. My heart pounds. The silhouette grows. Closer, closer. I open my umbrella, casting a shadow to shield me from visibility, but I am too late. He steps into the streetlight. I gasp and drop my umbrella. The light flickers. My heart pounds. He raises his arm. Time stops. The only indication of movement is the amber light flickering against his outstretched arm. The flickering light is in rhythm with the pounding of my heart, teasing me far succumbing to this forbidden emotion. Have you ever heard of a ghost feeling warmth before? Giving up on understanding, I laugh. Understanding is overrated. I touch his hand. The flickering stops. Ghosts are blue-green. My heart is amber. Wow, that's romantic. Jeez. Finishing the poem, I start to hand it back to Yuri. Instead of taking it from me, she looks away. Do you dislike it? No, of course not. I just don't really know how I should respond. Despite Yuri's poems usually being cryptic, it wasn't hard to figure out what this one was about. I don't know if I'll be able to explain this one. That's fine, I understand this one. Yuri's having an even harder time speaking than usual. Does this one mean a lot to you? Yuri nods. I'm not really good with words, but I'm happy you shared it with me. So thank you. And I hope we keep spending time together. Despite my inability to make eye contact, I see a faint smile emerge on Yuri's lips. I once again hand the poem back to her, but instead Yuri gently takes my hands and pushes them back towards me. I hesitate in response to her warm touch. You can, the poem is... Once again, Yuri fails to form a complete sentence. You mean I can keep it? Yuri nods. I'd love to. Again, Yuri faintly smiles, as if she doesn't want me to notice. Oh my goodness. You always make me feel nice. I know I'm not good with people, but I hope that I can return the favor sometimes. Yeah, don't worry. I think you do a good job. Yuri finally turns back towards me. I guess we should move on before Monika says something. I'm sure we could talk again later. Yeah, I'm sure we will. With that, Yuri timidly smiles at me, and I return to my seat so I can put her poem away. Alright, finally Natsuki. This one's alright. Alright? Well, yeah, about as good as yesterday's anyway. I see what you're going for, but it's just not really my style. I mean, that's fine. I'm mostly just glad that you're trying a little bit. Well, of course I'm at least trying. Why are you so emotionally invested in my poems anyway? Isn't that more of a compliment to me? No, gross. It's not like I care. Oh my god, she's definitely a tsundere. I think that's the term for it. It's just that one of us in this club has to make sure you're not slacking off. Really? Well, what if you ended up just scaring me away? That's, it's not like you would actually do that. Yeah, you're right. It's kind of fun to hang out here, even if I have to put up with you. Okay. Natsuki's elbow connects with my stomach. Oh, maybe I won't mind scaring you away after all. I was just joking. Oh, I know. Don't worry. I was too. How the hell do you call that a joke? Okay. Yeah? That seriously hurt. Well, maybe it was funny to her. I guess that's kind of the point. I should really just watch my mouth around Natsuki. Anyway, Natsuki holds out her poem out to me like nothing even happened. I'll be your beach. Interesting title. Your mind is so full of troubles and fears that diminished your wonder over the years. But today I have a special place, a beach for us to go. A shore reaching beyond your sight, a sea that sparkles with brilliant light. The walls in your mind will melt away before the sunny glow. I'll be the beach that washes your worries away. I'll be the beach that you daydream about each day. I'll be the beach that makes your heart leap in a way thought had left you long ago. Let's bury your heavy thoughts in a pile of sand. Bathe in sunbeams and hold my hand. Wash your insecurities in the salty sea and let me see you shine. Let's leave your memories in a footprint trail. Set you free in a windy sail. Remember the reasons you're wonderful when you press your lips to mine. I'll be the beach that washes your worries away. I'll be the beach that you daydream about each day. I'll be the beach that makes your heart leap in a way thought had left you long ago. But if you let me by your side, your own beach, your own escape, you'll learn to love yourself again. Wow. Well, that's really romantic. Jeez. Yeah, I felt like I kept writing about negative things, so I wanted to write something with a nice message for once. Besides, the beach is awesome. Kinda hard to write anything negative about the beach. So I decided to write about the beach first, and then came up with a message later. Yeah, well, it's only because of what happened yesterday. I mean, after Yuri and I realized we kind of wrote about the same thing. She wanted to pick a topic and have us both write about it, or whatever. I see. Something tells me the poem Yuri showed isn't the one she plans on sharing with everyone else. Of course, I choose not to mention that to Natsuki. Ugh, you can really see her doing that too. Making us write about a simple topic, then trying to impress me at coming up with something all fancy. Well, it's not like I care. I just did it anyway. I mean, I guess mine ended up being kind of metaphorical too, but there's something wrong with doing that once in a while. At the very least, it was good practice. Okay. Alright. Okay, you three. We're all done sharing poems, right? Why don't we start figuring out... Hold on a second. Is it just me, or did you say something strange just now? Huh? Something did sound a bit unusual. That's right. You deviated from your usual catchphrase when addressing the club. Catchphrase? I don't have a catchphrase. Jeez. Why is the mood so weird today? Look, even Yuri isn't immune to it. Stagnating air is common foreshadowing something terrible is about to happen. In your books, maybe. Look, the only thing different is that Sayori isn't here. Ah, seems you're right. Sayori always helps lighten the mood a little bit, doesn't she? It's almost like everyone's balance is thrown off a little when she's not around. Where the heck did she run off to anyway? Thought she just went to pee. Natsuki, please show some decency. Oh, come on. She actually wasn't feeling too well and went home early. Is that so? I hope she's alright. Seriously, of all times to not go home with her, you picked the time she's not feeling well? So much for you two being all lovey-dovey. No. First of all, stop misunderstanding my friendship with Sayori. And second, she's kind of been avoiding me today, so I didn't want to force it. Ooh, that curious expression coming from Yuri, of all people. Calm down, guys. I talked to her earlier and everything is fine. What did she say? Anyway, we need to figure out the rest of the festival preparation, so let's decide what everyone will be doing this weekend. I already know what I'm doing. That's right. Let's go making cupcakes. But we might need a lot of them, in different flavors. Can you handle that all by yourself, Natsuki? Challenge accepted. Ooh. Okay. Next thing we know, at like the festival, you would see just this little girl in like a baker's hat uniform with about 200 cupcakes just right in front of her. As for myself, I'm going to be printing and assembling all the poetry pamphlets. Zero will be helping me design them. And as for Yuri, you can, guys, can you help me come up with something for Yuri? I'm useless. No, that's not it at all. You're the most talented person here, you know? Now Natsuki's pouting too. Jeez, even I can tell now. I guess I never give Sayori enough credit. I could tell things are even harder on you when she's not around. Ah, that may be the case. But if I can't also be a leader on my own, then I won't grow as a person. So Yuri, you have beautiful handwriting, don't you? So you should make some banners, decorations that helps up the atmosphere. Atmosphere? About that. I love atmosphere. Air's expression suddenly changes. She stares at her desk and focuses and starts nodding to herself. Your mind is already racing. I see. That's great. It'll be a wonderful help, Yuri. But anyway, that just leaves you, Nasake. The one who is truly useless. Don't say that. In fact, both Natsuki and Yuri have some pretty heavy tasks to handle. It would probably go a long way to give one of them a hand. You can always help me out as well. I would be really appreciative of that. Ah, is Monika suggesting I spend the weekend with one of my club members? How on earth are they going to respond to a suggestion like that? I suppose I wouldn't mind a bit of help. Well, if you don't know how to bake, there's always some dirty work I could give to you. It's not like Monika is going to give me a choice, and you shouldn't be sitting on your butt anyway. Natsuki tries to mumble a bunch of excuses like that. If I recall, Natsuki, you mentioned that you would like to handle the baking on your own. Nasake may not like to be around if you only make him out to be a nuisance. So therefore, he may be more suited to assisting with the decorations. Oh, they're fighting! Oh, there we go again. We see the sparks fly. Hold on, I never said that. How hard could it be to make a few decorations anyway? It sounds more like you're just making excuses for Nasake too. What are you saying? It would be extremely meticulous work. And baking isn't? Just what do you think? Guys. Let's settle down for a moment. In the end, I think it's up to Nasake to decide how he'd like to contribute. Besides, he hasn't really got a chance to spend any time with me yet, you know? And I'm sure he's interested in... You literally just said... I'm surprised as well. Sorry. I was just saying though. Jeez, can we just settle this already? Yeah, Nasake, you're okay with this, right? In the end, it's up to you. Ah, of course. Very well. In that case, you're gonna look straight at me. Of course, I'm gonna go with... Make another save. I have like 6 different save spots, so... I can always go back and figure this out on my own. Let's go with Yuri. Be most useful helping out Yuri. Me? Are you serious? Why would you... Natsuki, I can already tell you're about to say something mean. No, I was just saying that... Yeah, that's right, you tell her. Alright, so be helping Yuri then, Nasake. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm glad. I have a bad habit of overthinking these sort of things, so I think your assistance will be very useful. That's great to hear. Natsuki, will you be able to handle the baking yourself? I mean, yeah, I already said it would be fine. Okay. Everyone can tell that Natsuki is feeling a little sour. So, is that everything we needed to go over? Yeah, that should be about it. Are you guys excited? Well, excited may not be the right word, but I suppose I'm looking forward to a little bit. Do you feel the same way, Nasake? Me? I guess you could say I'm interested to see how it'll turn out. That's good enough for me. What about you, Natsuki? ... Natsuki? What? Why is everyone yelling at me? Didn't even do anything. No, that's not what I meant at all. Yuri anxiously glances between everyone in the room. I'm so sorry for this. I don't really know why Nasake picked me. And also, your cupcakes are the best cupcakes I've ever had. They go really well with my tea. And nothing that I do for the event will compare to that, so... I get it. I'm kind of surprised though. Why? Well, no one acting immature. I already know that. You were trying to cheer me up all of a sudden. I know I'm not very good at it. I'm sorry if I said something bad. Oh my goodness. Natsuki isn't the only one surprised. Monika and I are also taken back by Yuri's words. When she already has trouble with words, trying to cheer someone up must be far out of her own comfort zone. But I begin to understand. Yuri's trying to sound like Sayori. Even if it didn't work perfectly, I could tell that she tried to say something Sayori would say at a time like this. Because Sayori always helps everyone smile and feel good about themselves. No, I kind of appreciated it. I'm sorry for making a big deal out of nothing, but I'm going to say this. You better bet that my cupcakes are going to be the best part of the whole event. I believe you. Yeah, hope to see everyone do their best. But with that, there's nothing more for today, so I guess it's time for us to head out. Alright, let's get out of here then. Everyone packs up their things. I start to follow Monika and Natsuki out the door as they chat between us. I turn around. Sorry, I realized I don't have any way of contacting you this weekend. Oh, you're right. Can't believe that slipped my mind. Should I give you my phone number? I think that would be the best way, yes. Alright then, you and I exchange phone numbers. Cool. Okay. Then I'll be stopping by your house on Sunday. My house? Is that a problem? No, not at all. I just thought that I'll be the one going to your house, since I'm the one helping you. Ah, I suppose that makes sense. But if you don't mind, I think I prefer going to your house. Okay. In that case, it won't be a problem. I decided not to press Yuri for a reason. It's not like it should matter much either way. So, I'll just need to make sure my room is clean. Hope I can manage to make myself useful in some way. I'm not nearly as creative as you are. Don't underestimate yourself, Nasake. Think that we'll make a very productive team. Even if you only chose me because you felt bad or something. Wait, you don't actually think that, do you? I don't know. It's difficult to come up with any other reason you may have chosen for me. You're forgetting the one reason with the most common sense. I chose you to help you because that's what I want to do. But Yuri thinks to herself an extremely tense expression. Yuri, you're overthinking this. You wanted me to point out when you're overthinking, right? Huh? I didn't realize. I'm telling you, I want to. That's all there is to it. Do you believe me? Yuri thinks really hard again. She looks straight into my eyes for a long while. I believe you. As if it took her tremendous effort, Yuri finally says that and relaxes her expression. And I'm really looking forward to Sunday. Yeah, I am too. After that, in exchange, I make my way to the door and Yuri follows. I can't believe this. Yuri's going to be coming to my house on Sunday? My anxiety shoots through the roof. Even though I've gotten pretty used to handling her at this point, there's no telling what might end up happening when we're outside of school. More than that, she told me that she was looking forward to it. Is this the chance that I have to make something happen between us? Oh? Is this the start? Or is it too early for that? Only time will tell. But until then, I won't be able to take my mind off it. I seriously can't wait. Heck yeah. It's already Sunday. Oh, it's Sunday. Okay. I've been getting increasingly anxious about Yuri's upcoming visit. I keep telling myself there's no reason to be nervous, but it doesn't help much. Yuri's clearly an introvert and also an intimate person in general. There's no doubt that she'll open up a little bit when it's just the two of us. Meanwhile, we've been texting occasionally. She was extremely apprehensive at first, but it wasn't long before I was already learning more about her. But putting Yuri aside, I haven't heard a thing from Sayori since she left club early the other day. It's not like we text each other all the time or anything, but I've been worried about her in the back of my mind. Between what Sayori said and what Monika said, is it really okay if we put Sayori's feelings aside when she might need me? Oh no. Oh no. I decided to visit Sayori before Yuri comes over. Rather than asking, I simply tell her I'm coming over, much like we've done it in the past. Once I reach Sayori's house, knock on the door before entering it myself. Again, we used to play so often that we've made it a habit of simply entering each other's houses like we were family. The house is quiet. Sayori isn't anywhere on the first floor, so I assume she's up in her room. It's already strange of her not to run down and greet me. I head up to her bedroom where I finally find her. Sayori? Hi, Nasake. I sit down in her room. Sayori forces a smile, but it's easy to tell that she's different. There's a minute of silence between us. You haven't come over like this in a long time, have you? Ah, I guess you're right. It has been a long time. Not much has really changed, has it? Sayori's room is as messy as it's always been. I also recognize the same stuffed animals and wall decorations that she's had for years now. If you came over more often, it wouldn't be such a mess. That's because I end up cleaning it for you. How come you suddenly wanted to come over today? Aren't you supposed to see Yuri today? Yeah, but... Wait, how did you know that? Sayori had already left by the time we decided the last meeting. Monika told me. It's only natural for her to keep me informed about the festival preparations, right? Ah, that's true. What about you? Aren't you going to be helping Monika today? Of course. I'm just helping her online. We didn't plan to meet up or anything. Ah, so it's just me and Yuri then. Yep. There's more silence between us. Sayori stares in a random direction. Everything about her behavior is really uncharacteristic. I finally get to the point. I just want to see how you're doing. After you left on Friday, when something's wrong, you can't hide it from me. I know you too well. So, Sayori smiled, shaking her head. That's no good, Nasake. Why can't it just be like it's always been? This is all my fault. If I didn't get so weak and accidentally express my feelings, if I didn't make that stupid mistake, then you wouldn't have been worried about me at all. Oh my goodness. You wouldn't have come here. You wouldn't have been thinking about me right now. But this, it's just my punishment, isn't it? I'm getting punished for being so selfish. I think that's why the world decided to have you come over today. It just wants to torture me. Sayori. I grabbed Sayori by the shoulders. What on earth are you saying? Are you listening to yourself right now? I know something happened to you. There's no other explanation for you to be like this. So tell me already. Until I know, I won't be able to stop thinking about it. Ha ha ha. Sayori gives me an empty smile. You really put me in a trap, Nasake. But you're wrong. Nothing happened to me. I've always been like this. You're just seeing it for the first time. Seeing what? What are you talking about, Sayori? You're really just going to make me say it, aren't you, Nasake? Guess I have no choice this time. The thing is, I've had really bad depression my whole life. What? Wow, I just got hit by a jackhammer. What the heck? Did you know that? Why do you think I'm late to school every day? Because most days I can't even find a reason to get out of bed. What reason is there to do anything when I fully know how worthless I am? Oh, my heart. Why go to school? Why eat? Why make friends? Why make other people put their energy and caring to waste by having them spend it on me? That's what it feels like. And that's why I just want to make everyone happy. Without anyone worrying about me. I'm in shock. I am in shock. I can't even figure out how to respond. How is it possible that Sayori kept this from me this entire time that I've known her? Did she really want so badly for me to just not think about her? Why, Sayori? Why is it that you never told me about this? It almost feels like I've been betrayed as your close friend. Because if I knew, I would have done everything I could to support you. Even if there's only so much that I could do, I would have tried a little bit harder to make every day a little better for you. That's why I'm your friend. All you had to do was tell me. You don't understand at all, Nasake. Why do you think I didn't tell you? Because if I told you, then you would have to waste effort caring about me instead of doing important things. I don't want to be cared about. It's bittersweet when people try to care about me. It feels nice sometimes, but it also feels like a bat being swung against my head. That's why I wanted so badly for you to make friends with everyone else. Helping everyone be happy together is the best thing for me. But then I discovered something else too. Seeing you make friends get closer to everyone in the club feels like a spear going through my heart. So that's why I decided the world just wants to torture me. Every path leads to nothing but hurt. You're right that I don't understand. I don't understand your feelings at all, Sayori. But I don't need to understand. Whatever it takes for me to help you stop hurting, That's what I'll do. No, Nasake. There's nothing. Nothing at all. The only thing that could have helped me is if everything could be like it always was. But I was selfish. I finally showed you what a horrible person I am. Tears streaked down Sayori's face. I made you join the literature club because I was selfish. And I was punished by my heart hurting in a way that I couldn't understand. And now you came here, and I made you hurt too. I'm just weak and selfish. That's all I am. And that's why I'm going to accept these punishments, because I deserve every last one. Without thinking, I once again grabbed Sayori's shoulders. This time, I pull her into a tight embrace. Nasake, Sayori, I don't care if you feel selfish. I'm really happy that you convinced me to join the club. Seeing you every day makes it worthwhile enough. If I make friends with everyone else, then that's just a bonus. But please never underestimate how much I care about you. I wouldn't have it any other way. Nasake, Sayori isn't hugging me back. Despite my arms wrapped around her, Sayori's arms remain at her sides. She starts sobbing next to my ear. No, don't do this to me. Please don't do this, Nasake. Sayori barely manages to speak between her sobs. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but all I want for her to know is that I care. If you have it in you to call yourself selfish, then you have to let me be selfish too. No matter what it takes, I'll figure out what needs to change. I'll make these feelings go away. And if there's anything you need me to do, then you better tell me. I'll get mad if you don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Gently, Sayori finally puts her arms around me in return. I don't know anything. It's all really scary. I don't understand any of my feelings, Nasake. The only time I'm not feeling nothing is when I'm feeling pain. But your hugs are so warm, and that's really scary too. Sayori lets me go. As she does so, I'd let go of her as well. The festival's tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be fun, right? Yeah. How would you like for me to spend it all with you? It's what I want, I promise. I think that would be nice then. Yeah, Sarah wipes her eyes. If I could spend the whole day here, I would. Of all days, this has to be the one where I have other plans. Maybe I should cancel. No, don't. Please don't. If you did that, then I really wouldn't forgive you. But it's almost time for Yuri to meet me at my house. At the very least, do you want to come along and help out? It'll be fun. To my surprise, Sayori shakes her head. I'm sorry, I don't know if that would be very good for me today. You understand, right? It's kind of hard for me to fully understand, but I'm trying my hardest. It's okay, don't worry too much about it. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Alright. I look forward to it. Oh my goodness. Oh, my heart! I say goodbye and Sayori and exit her house. On the way home, I find myself still feeling uneasy. But it's hard for me to keep thinking about it when Yuri is about to come over too. I think Sayori is right. I should be worrying too much, and we're definitely going to have a great time tomorrow. I should just focus on what's ahead of me. As I approach my house, I see something that makes me feel a moment of panic. Yuri? Thank goodness. We were a little early. I'm sorry I wasn't home yet. Were you waiting for a long time? No, I just got here, but I started to get really nervous when nobody answered the doorbell. You could have texted me. If I had known, I would have reassured you and hurried more on my way home. I suppose that's true. I didn't think of that for some reason. It should be common sense to do that, but I decided to ignore it. Anyway, let's go inside. I see you brought a lot of stuff with you. That's right. And did you manage to find everything I asked for you to buy as well? Yeah, pretty much. At least I hope I got everything right. I'm sure I'll be fine. I take Yuri to my room. Oh wow. TV? Lots of books? Those look like binders though. Some of these are books. I don't know. I don't know anything. This is definitely his gaming PC. The first thing she does is glance around curiously, which makes me feel anxious. It's so clean. You cleaned it before you came over, so that's very considerate of you to do. No, it would be really. I would be really embarrassed for my room to be a mess while you were here. Well, I do enjoy cleaning. I would have gladly helped you clean. Uh, that would be even more embarrassing. Wait, don't look in there. I snatched Yuri's wrist, which was in the process of opening a desk drawer of mine. Ah, I'm sorry. I was thinking for some reason. I was just spacing out. It's fine, it's fine. I let go of Yuri's wrist. She puts both her hands firmly in her lap, as if making sure she's keeping track of them. So, should we get started? Ah, yes. I have a few things planned that you can help with. Decorations and other atmospheric enhancements. Atmospheric enhancements? You know, mood lighting, aromatherapy, candles. Oh wow. I didn't know you planned on taking it that far. Of course. Wanted to help take your guests to a faraway place. Although many will stop by just out of curiosity. And for cupcakes, I guess. I'm determined to provide an experience that will leave them wanting more. That's great. It's easy to forget that you're a pretty intense person. Intense? Guess that's the best way to put it. Is that a bad thing? No, not at all. It's something that I like about you, actually. Is that so? Makes me feel relieved. And kind of happy. Yeah, no need to be anxious. You can relax a little. Relax? Oh, relax. Ooh, breathe. I brought some things for relaxation. I was going to use them during the poetry event. Oh yeah, like what? Let's see. Yuri rummages through her bag. She pulls out a few candles and a wooden cylinder-shaped object. I did some shopping on the way here, so I happen to have these in my bag. I plan to cover the windows in black paper and use the candles to light the room. I think that would be amazing, don't you? Yeah, that would be pretty neat. What's that wooden thing, though? Oh, this? It's a diffuser for essential oils. How familiar are you with aromatherapy? Not familiar at all. Oh, is that so? Some of my favorite contributions to a positive atmosphere. Depending on the oils or herbs you choose, you can change the mood of the air itself. You can even feel it permeate through your body. Relaxation, positive energy, romance, reflection. It's almost like magic. Magic. Yuri takes a cylinder and pushes the switch on the bottom. In just a moment, a thin ray of vapor begins to spout through a small hole on the top. Wow, that smells wonderful. What kind of mood is that one for? This is a jasmine essential oil. It smells a little sweet and flowery, right? Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. I chose jasmine for the event because it provides more than relaxation. Jasmine enhances your emotions and helps you feel them flow through your body. You feel warmer and your heart pounds more heavily. Don't you think that would be perfect for sharing our poems? It does sound suitable. But you seem to know a lot about this, so I trust your opinion with anything. Yuri smiles gently, clearly enjoying herself. She again reaches into her bag and pulls out several spools of thin ribbon. What are those for? Well, did you purchase the origami paper I asked you to get? Yeah, I have it over here. We won't be using the paper for folding origami. What I'd like to do is write a different word on each paper. We'll need about 100 of them. Oh yeah? What will those be used for? I'm going to cut pieces of ribbon and hang from the doorway of the classroom. Then we can fasten the paper onto the ribbons to create a doorway curtain. Wouldn't that be beautiful? It would also catch the eye of those passing by the room. It attracts them to peek inside. That's really creative. I had no idea you'd be so good at this. Is that so? Well, I suppose I do get a little intense, as you put it. Yuri giggles with red cheeks. Is just me, or is she more relaxed when it's just the two of us? Or maybe it's the excitement she feels from sharing something that she enjoys. Here's a marker, Natsuki. You can write any characters you want. I'll help you once I've finished cutting the ribbons. Okay. Sitting on the floor together, two of us get to work. I carefully draw a different character on each paper, do my best to manage my bad handwriting. Yuri unravels a long strand of red ribbon to her desired length. Then she reaches into her bag once more and pulls out a pocket knife. Huh? The knife is strangely beautiful. The silver handle has an intricate pattern of waves etched into it. Were we talking about a knife earlier with her? Or am I wrong? I don't know. The blade itself is gently tinted blue. That's no ordinary pocket knife. It looks really fancy. Well, embarrassed, Yuri looks away. What is it? You're going to think it's weird. Whatever it is, I have no reason to judge. To each their own, you know? If you promise you won't be weirded out. Yeah, I promise. Alright, thing is, I'm kind of into knives. They're just so pretty. I can't help it. I'm getting a red flag here, guys. I don't know what it is. The combination of craftsmanship and the feeling of danger, maybe. Ugh, what am I saying? Please don't think I'm weird for this. You're laughing at me. No, I'm not laughing at you. It's just funny how nervous you get about sharing. It's an interesting thing to be into, I guess. But I think it kind of suits you. Suits me? Yeah, it's kind of intense. Besides, it's really a cool looking knife, I can't deny that. It is, isn't it? Yuri relaxes her expression once again. Would you like to hold it? Sure, I'll check it out. Yuri carefully hands me the knife with the handle facing me. I take it and turn it around my hands. It feels heavy and extremely solid. Where do you even get a knife like this? Curious of its sharpness, I feel the point of the knife with my index finger. Ow. Nasake, why did you do that? Didn't expect it to be that sharp. I barely touched it at all. It's my fault. I should have warned you. This knife is extremely sharp. It can cut through skin like it's paper. Oh no, a small jar of blood trickles down the side of my finger. Yuri takes my hand and gives the wound a closer look. Ah, she stares at it and noticeably fidgets. You're squeamish, I'll go wash it off now. Without warning, Yuri puts my finger in her mouth and licks the wound. I feel her tongue curl around my finger. Startled, I instinctively pull my hand back. Oh, please forgive me. I wasn't thinking. Yuri lowers her head, her face burning up. Yuri, that's the most embarrassing thing I've ever done. How could I do something like that? I'm sorry. I'm getting some, I don't know, some vibes from Yuri now. Not the good ones. Sure, it was a little weird, and it took me by surprise. I guess she was just trying to help, right? Yuri, I think you're overreacting a little. She doesn't lift her head. What if she doesn't recover from this for the rest of the afternoon? Alright, you know what? This might be a stupid thing to do, but I do it anyway. Take Yuri's hand and lick her index finger in return. That way, it's fair. That's okay. Did you just really do that? Now we're even. Yuri just looks at me like I did something wrong. I knew that would be a bad idea. It's not for the sweet. It's already extremely heavy right now. Sweet aroma of the jasmine oil. You're so weird, Natsuki. Yuri giggles shyly. Yuri calling me weird? I have no response to that. Where do you keep your bandages? I don't think I need one actually. It was just a tiny cut. Look at her, I stopped bleeding. I see. That's relieving. The tension is quickly lifted. We each resume our respective activities. I watch Yuri's knife cut through the ribbon like it's nothing but air. Meanwhile, I continue to make progress on the paper. After we finish attaching the paper to the ribbons, we lay them all out side by side. It looks better than I expected and will be very effective as a door curtain. It looks great. Good thinking coming up with this, Yuri. Thanks. Just something I saw online, really. Are you ready to move on to the next task? Yeah, let's do it. What do you have in mind? I'd like to create a banner. That's why I asked you to buy the paint tablets. Oh, that's right. One of the items Yuri had asked me to buy was a kit of watercolor paint tablets. Oh boy. Yawning. I think after this exchange, and maybe a poem, I'll be done. Okay. We'll need about 6 cups of water to put each of the tablets in. Do you mind fetching those for us? Of course not. 6 cups of water. I'll be right back in a minute. Thank you very much. Oh, and just a little bit of water is okay. If you fill the cups too much, it'll be too diluted. Taking Yuri's advice, I decided to use a small plastic bathroom cups rather than full-size glasses. Put them on a plate and catch any paint the trips to bring them back to my room. Yuri? Yes? I come to see Yuri quickly unrolling her sleeve, pulling it back over her arm. Nothing. Your face is a little red. Is it too hot in here or anything? No, not at all. There's nothing wrong, so let's mix the paint. Your sleeves? Oh my goodness. Knives? Sleeves? Is she cutting herself? Wait a second here. Okay, that's just a guess. But I don't know. I'm taking my knowledge that this is supposed to be like dark. Like it's really cheerful at first, but now we just saw Sayori. Like apparently she's been battling depression for a long time. Oh no. Yuri hurriedly dismisses me and takes upon herself to unwrap the tablets, dropping them into the cups. So, I thought we would do something simple that would look very nice. I'd like to paint a gradient across the banner, starting with the colors for sunrise, the daytime, and sunset, the nighttime. Once it dries, I'll write an inspirational quote across the banner, while hanging on the wall behind the podium at the front of the classroom. Ah, neat. What are you going to write? Well, it'll be more fun to surprise you. Yuri smiles at me. If you say so. After rolling out the banner, Yuri and I kneel on opposite sides so we don't get in the way of each other. Yuri uses a brush and adds a few dots of different colors across the banner to serve as a color guide when we paint. This kind of reminds me of elementary school. Painting on a banner with watercolors feels a lot like the art class projects we had back then. It's relaxing. Ah, I'm sorry this feels too childish. No, I didn't mean that at all. It's kind of fun, you know? Yeah, it is fun. I'm glad you feel that way too. Yuri stops painting for a moment, thinking to herself. For me, I don't need to go out and do crazy things to have fun. In fact, I usually don't even want to. I just like when I can spend time with one other person, even if it's something simple, like reading. It doesn't even matter if we don't talk that much. Just having a friend next to me makes things feel a little bit nicer. I think that's all it takes for me to be happy. Is that so? Even if Yuri and I are quite different, I can understand where she's coming from. I feel that way about things like anime and games, where simply sharing the experience with someone can make me happy. I think I'll feel the same way. Yuri smiles gently. I knew you'd understand. Yuri leans over the banner to grab an unused paintbrush, but I move at the same time, causing my head to bump into hers. Yeah. Sorry, Yuri reels back and I quickly lift my hands in surprise. Are you hurt? No, I'm not hurt. It just startled me, that's all. Sorry, I should have asked you to get it for me. It's not your fault. Ah, your face. There are droplets of paint on Yuri's face and neck. Are there? This is a really good outfit for her. Oh my goodness. It's just something on my face? Yeah, I accidentally got paint on you. Sorry, it's totally my fault. I'll get a towel right away. I rush out and fetch a small towel, then I dampen it with hot water. I turn to my room and kneel back down in front of her. Here. I pat down Yuri's face and neck with a towel. Is something wrong? It's hot, I just didn't expect it. Sorry, didn't want to use cold water. Having finished, I start to retract my hand, but Yuri suddenly holds my wrist. Wait. Just for a little longer. It feels really nice. I keep my hand still against Yuri's neck. She looks into my eyes. It's an intense expression that I recognize from when she reads her books. Almost as if she's lost in a daze, enveloped by her own thoughts. She breathes gently, half through slightly parted lips. What is happening? Is the aroma of the jasmine oil giving me this dizzy feeling? Yuri's gentle fingers wrap around my wrist. Wrapped around my wrist, send a tingling sensation through my arm, and suddenly her face seems to be much closer to mine than it was a moment ago. Yuri slowly pulls away. Sorry, I've been feeling a little lightheaded today. I didn't mean to space out. It's fine. The moment is over as soon as it began. Yuri picks up her brush again. Her movements seem clumsier, like she's unable to focus. I remain silent, forced to ignore the event that just transpired. I hesitantly retrieve my own brush and continue following Yuri's example. That should do it. I finished filling the night sky with white dots that look like stars. Looking at the banner as a whole, it's very pretty and natural looking. I think it came out better than I expected. I'm really happy with the results. Yeah, me too. Are you going to add the lettering now? Not yet. It needs to dry first. That's true. Won't that take a while? Well, perhaps it would be the best to leave it here, then have you bring it in the morning. I can do the lettering in the classroom before our event starts. Is that okay? That's totally fine. Wonderful. In that case, I don't think there's anything more for us to do here. Phew. You say it like you're glad it's over. Was I wrong to assume that was I wrong to assume that you were at least enjoying yourself a little bit? No, it's not that. I'm just glad that we managed to get everything done. I see. I am too. I was a little concerned about time. We need to start making dinner soon. Ah, so you don't have any time left? I was secretly hoping we would have extra time after finishing the work. Well, Yuri thinks to herself. I think we too irresponsible of me to wait much longer. I'm sorry. I was hoping there would be more time as well. It's probably my fault. Sorry for being such a slow worker. No, it's not your fault at all. And the important thing is that we got everything done, right? Yeah. So I shouldn't be disappointed or anything. Gathering all her things, Yuri seems to look a little downcast. I understand why. It sounds like she rarely gets the opportunity to spend time with friends in a relaxed environment. That doesn't mean this is the last time it can happen. Once Yuri packs up, I walk her out the front door. Thank you very much for having me today. No problem. I'm glad I was able to help. Let me know if there's anything else you need me to bring tomorrow. I will. Well then, Yuri fidgets. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Wait, I kind of say that without thinking. About today. It's fine that we didn't have as much time as we wanted, because we could do this again, whenever you want. You can come over, or we can go out somewhere. Ah, forgot you don't like going out much. As I stumble over my words, Yuri simply smiles bashfully. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say, so... You're very thoughtful, Natsuki. Yuri takes a step closer to me, then briefly squeezes my hand. I kind of like that about you. Oh, she's closer! She's closer! Are we gonna get our moment? Well, how am I supposed to respond to that? But I don't even get a chance to, as Yuri suddenly pulls back. Sayori? Eh? Ah. Hi, Natsuki. Sayori. Just now we weren't... It's okay, Natsuki. I just stopped by to say hi. Well, it's nice to see you. I'm sorry, but I'm already on my way to leave. Oh, really? That's too bad. I'm sorry. We'll all be together at the festival tomorrow, so... That's fine, right? Of course. Sayori beams. Yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow. Clearly embarrassed, Yuri hurries off. Sayori waves goodbye after her. Sayori, I thought you didn't want to come over today. Well, I tried staying in my room, but my imagination was being really mean to me. So I had to come here and see it for myself. See what? What are you talking about? You know, how much fun you were having with Yuri, and how close you got to her. Makes me really happy. That you've made such good friends. She's crying. Oh no. That's all that matters to me. Tears start to fall down Sayori's face. That's all that matters to me. Why am I feeling this way, Natsuki? I'm supposed to be happy for you. Why does it feel like my heart is splitting in half? It hurts so much. Everything hurts so much. This would be so much better if I could just disappear. Wait a minute here. Sayori, don't say that. It's true, Natsuki. If I wasn't here, then you wouldn't have to waste your sympathy on me. You wouldn't have to put up with me being selfish. Monika was right. I should just... Monika? Monika was right about what? Sayori, what I said before is true. I'm not going to let this continue. Caring about you like this isn't the burden your mind is making it out to be. It's something that makes me happy. It's something that I wouldn't trade for anything else. So even if it takes an entire lifetime, I'm going to be by your side until you don't feel any more pain. But Sayori looks away, put a hand on her shoulder to reassure her. I'm scared, Natsuki. I'm really scared. What are you scared of, Sayori? I'm scared that I might like you more than you like me. Sayori, it's true, isn't it? I was weak and started to like you too much. I did this to myself. Natsuki, I like you so much that I want to die. That's how I feel. And that's enough, Sayori. I don't want you to hurt anymore. I slide my hand down Sayori's arm and squeeze her hand in my own. Do you remember how I said, I always know what's best for you? Do you still believe me? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Even if you don't understand all of your own feelings, I know what you need the most right now. And that's what I'm going to give to you. No! No! Oh, that's so bad. She just confessed. No! Just... Oh, my heart. No. That's not fair. Because, like, I guess I'm trying to go for Yuri in this one, but... Oh my goodness. Oh, decisions. I've already set my mind on something. I have to go through with it. I hate this. What you need most things for to be like they've always been. Monika told me the truth. She told me how much happier you seem after joining the club. I know you're struggling with something really difficult feelings right now, but please trust me that I know what's best and what will make you happy in the end. I promise I'll help you get things back to the way they were. I see. Sarah forced a smile through an incredibly pained expression. Is this what it feels like to get stabbed in the chest? I should write out a poem about this. Sayori, it's okay. This is just my punishment, remember? For being selfish. So please don't worry about these stupid feelings. I know you're right. I knew this whole time there's no happiness down that path. That's why I came here, just so I can get the answer I needed to hear. And the other thing, you're also right that I just want it to go back to the way it was. I realize that now. You really do know me better than anyone, Nasake. I'll trust you with anything at all. So her smile finally breaks. All of a sudden, she turns around and drops to her knees. Clutching her head with both hands, she screams as loudly as she can. I'm so shocked that I don't know how to react. Sayori looks over her shoulder and flashes me one more weak smile before turning around and running off. Sayori! I left helplessly standing in front of my house. Why am I feeling so horrible about this? There's nothing more that I could have done. The most I could do was support Sayori through her feelings and help her on the path that's right. I'm having as much trouble understanding Sayori's feelings as she is. Even though I can comfort her, I keep wondering if I should be doing something more or something different. Oh, I feel so terrible. No, these thoughts will continue to plague me until things are back to the way they were. I'm going to give it everything I've got. Sayori will always be my dearest friend, and I'll do whatever it takes to put a smile on her face every day. My goodness. Oh, I feel like I just stabbed myself through the chest. Oh my goodness. What? What am I doing? Oh my goodness. Wait, did I just save over the... Oh no, it's autosave. Okay. I thought I saved over one of my profiles. Oh no. Okay. Oh my goodness. My heart. Well, I think that's gonna be it for today. We'll leave off on the day of the festival. What do I even say about this? So I'm getting some flags from Yuri. Natsuki clearly has like this crush on me, but she's really defiant, you know? Expressing it may be a little hard for her, maybe. But it's kind of cute. But Sayori, though, oh my goodness. Sayori. Maybe first I should talk about Monika. Monika seems a little. She's interesting. She clearly knows what's going on like around. And maybe is a little manipulative. I don't know. I kind of get that feeling. But anyway, Sayori finding out that she's been dealing with depression all this time, and then after spending time with Yuri, getting closer to her, she comes over because she was thinking about what had happened when I hugged her and said all those things. And then confesses to me. But then oh my goodness. And then I respond with, you'll always be my dearest friend. It's like, what am I doing with my life? Oh my goodness. All right. That's the end of part 2. Hope everyone enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next one. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And Nasake out.